The topic that nearly every 911 viewer has been wondering about for 7 seasons was finally posed: is Buck in love with Eddie? During Thursday's episode, Tommy brings up the subject for the first time when he runs into Buck at a pub and confesses that he has been putting off calling him for weeks. Tommy is far too aroused to freak out when Buck takes him back to his new flat, which he instantly recognizes as Eddie's former residence. According to showrunner Tim Minear, "I like Tommy as an ex for Buck because he's not just an ex for Buck, the universe contains him. In the old 118, he even existed before Buck. Thus, there are reasons to have Tommy in the story that may not be related to Buck. But in this particular case, it seems like this is what would occur. The reconciliation between Tommy and Buck, regrettably, doesn't last very long. When Tommy casually remarks that Eddie is the competition the following morning, Buck does not take it well. Tommy says, "Evan, please don't make me tell you that you live in the man's house." In response to Buck's counter-argument that Eddie is straight, Tommy laughs and says, "Okay," suggesting that he disagrees. Or is that his implication? Regarding my understanding, Minear responds, "That's possible." Another way to read Tommy's response there is as, "Yeah, okay, fine, he's straight. That isn't my point at all." It may be interpreted that way. After saying something inappropriate with Tommy, Buck works things right with Maddie, who is obviously a fan of Buddy. She inquires, "Are you fascinated with Eddie?" "It wouldn't be so crazy," Maddie responds to Buck's response. However, Buck is convinced that he has never even thought about the possibility that he is in love with Eddie. "I don't believe he has, not intentionally," Minear asserts. "Until lately, he had no intention of kissing a boy. However, that is a question I would ask if I were Tommy. He was, in my opinion, the ideal figure to at least bring up the subject." Buck tells Maddie, frustrated, "Everyone wants me to be hopelessly pining for my straight best friend." But does that everyone refer to Buck's family or the viewers of the show? Minear won't say the answer to it. "You decide, I entertain," he says. A deleted moment where Buck is pissed off that I cut would be added back if Minear could alter anything about his chat with Maddie. In the original version of that scene, Maddie tells him, "Well, you did live in Abby's house for 6 months after she walked out on you," he explains. In response, Buck said, "Yeah, well, I thought she was coming back. I don't want to unpack here because if I do, it truly means they won't be returning." Although it was somewhat contradictory, I did receive some feedback on that scenario. People said, "No one will understand this, and I should have followed my instincts. The viewers would comprehend." Maddie is informed by Buck that he should phone Tommy, but the call is never seen. The cause? He didn't call him in the end, Minear affirms. He simply felt he ought to. I believe he became preoccupied with other matters after that, when Buck finally unpacks his belongings in his new apartment. It appears that he has come to terms with Eddie's move being permanent. Furthermore, it doesn't seem likely that Buck will be hosting Tommy again anytime soon if he fulfills his pledge to Maddie to live independently. Buck has never publicly stated his affection for Tommy, as far as Minear is aware. I believe he could envision a bright future there. Yes, he did say that. However, I also believe that he at this point understands that he wasn't with Tommy for Tommy's sake, but rather to divert his attention from a pain he was experiencing. He was effectively taking advantage of him. In addition, Tommy was also taking advantage of him, even though they were both consenting adults.